All right. Wow. It went live at the same time on both my machines, like
Something's wrong.
instantaneously. I don't. StreamYard, is there something? Is it a fan of Halloween? Maybe that's it.
That's it.
Anyway, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
We are the CRM players, and I'm kind of beat.
Wait, you mean like the headset?
No, not beats.
Oh,
Beat.
you mean the
Tired.
you mean a single red vegetable? Or
Like, I
maybe it's a
mean,
fruit, like a beet?
two red eyes. Beat. That kind of thing. Tired.
Well,
We got back late. Well, I got back late. You got back earlier.
yeah. I was
From
just in time to see the Yankees lose the World Series in one of the worst
yeah,
innings I've ever seen in my entire life of
I
any
wasn't.
time. It was absolutely the worst inning I have ever seen, even in a regular season. I mean, the Yankees committed three errors, and later there was catcher interference, and there was one other thing. I forget. It was like five things. They just went from on a roll to a complete collapse like that.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna bring that up.
No,
That
it's all
was
right. You know what? My attitude kind of works real well with this. Is my life had wouldn't materially change whether they win or they lose. Really, the next day, my life's really no different. I just would have been, happy that they won, but they lost. So guess what? Baseball season's over, and now we get the fun stuff with see who gets to keep who or goes where. And in the meantime, I can concentrate on the Knicks, who looked very good last night.
yeah. See, you take this way better than I would. I'd be still be out back cutting down trees and stuff.
Well, I think
Yeah.
Dean, you, and Sandy don't handle defeat that well.
No.
20 more years, you will. Well, Dean, if 20 more years, he'll be in his 90s. So I don't know. He'll be like me. We won't be handling much at all. We'll just be wondering, who are we?
Yeah. Who are we? We are the CRM players, and we've been doing this since 2009, apparently.
And that's bringing the what?
No, bringing the ass, not the what.
Oh, okay. Who's
Yeah.
on first?
I don't know. No, he's
Oh,
on
he's
third.
on third.
Yeah. We've been doing that since 2009. All right. What we haven't been doing today, apparently, is the moment is Finn.
No, well, I mean, it was probably kind of sudden, the announcement of this one. So he maybe didn't see it.
Maybe, but he knows what time it is, what day it is.
That's
He
true.
ain't new to this. He's true to this.
That's right.
Well,
This
not
ain't
anymore.
Finn's first rodeo.
Notice how we got the Halloween background kind of look.
Yeah, I did actually. I mean, it's
It
kind of
looks
nice.
nice. I
Yeah,
like the nice.
I do too. It's that golden, kind of thing.
And the logo looks good on in front of it.
Yeah, it actually looks really good in front of it. Now that you're saying it, um, I went out and bought some Halloween candy just in case, but I'll end up giving away most of it to other people I know the next day in the bags because we don't use it.
Do the cats eat the Halloween
No,
stuff?
God, no. Cats are chocolate is dangerous for a cat.
Well, I am sporting my Halloween outfit. And I'm going as a Rams fan. But
Well,
did you notice this is all new stuff? I literally, when I
that
got back
hat
home
is
last night,
something else.
when I got back home last night, this is the special. I think it's kick cancer's butt edition, which is why it's got the colors in it.
It's a ram
Um,
plaid.
yeah, but it's one of their annual kind of fight cancer style designs for the NFL. So if you notice, a lot of the folks on the sidelines at the games have these kind of plaid things, and then they also do like the salute the service. So
Yeah.
this is the salute the service. I love this color. This is my kind of this gray. I'm a gray kind of, you
No,
know.
you know what? Me too. That's why my hair is this color. My favorite.
So this is I'm going as a Rams fan. This is all brand new gear. So it's my costume for today.
Come here. You can have some Reese's peanut butter cups.
So, any other words about the World Series you want to get off your chest before
No,
we?
no, I'm fine. I mean, I feel bad for the Yankee fans who aren't fine, but I mean, it was the problems that the Yankees manifested during that game were problems that was just sort of concentrated in one place, but the Yankees had sloppiness throughout the whole year like that, and they just kept. It was hard for me to trust. I loved the team, and of course, I was rooting with every ounce I had for them, but I couldn't trust them. I haven't trusted this team all year. I again like them. I love the. I love the. It was fun to watch, but there's so many fundamental baseball errors that were being made. And look, I'm a fan. I don't know better than the manager or the players, but I do know certain things that you don't do that are obvious, and they kept doing them.
Oh, that
So
Aaron Judge play was.
that was
Oof.
bizarre. He hadn't even made an error all year.
The only thing I think that was worse than that was the pitcher not going over to cover first base.
Yeah, and the two most important players on the team, basically, right? And they both made bonehead plays.
I don't know what the pitcher was thinking.
Well, I read what he said. He said I was trying to figure out the angle of the spin, and they said basically, you know,
Figure out the angle of the spin. I
the
mean,
ball was apparently
wasn't that
spin.
that was the first baseman's job? Wasn't his job just to go over and cover the base?
That's what I would have done. I know, but I don't know. It was bizarre. That would have ended the inning because he would have been out.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then we would have been winning 5-0 and just basically probably won the game. But you know what? The Dodgers, the Dodgers didn't win that game, but they deserved to win the series because they were just better.
Oh yeah.
The Yankees lost that game, but the Yankees that was the Yankees game to win, and they lost it. So,
What about what what's his name said after the game when he was asked about free agency?
oh Soto,
Yeah. That
what's he
was
going to say?
yeah, that was a rough one.
Well, he's hedging his bets. What's he going to do?
Yeah.
You expect him to say no? I'm definitely coming back to the Yankees. I don't care
Yeah.
what they offer me.
You know what I would have said? Hey man, we just lost the World Series. I'm not thinking about that right now.
Yeah, but he
And then he
is.
would have been done. Yeah, apparently he he is thinking about and looking forward to anybody who wants to come after him. Apparently,
That's
so
well, sure. I don't blame him. I mean, 26 years old and you can make $600 million from somebody. Why not?
six
Now
hundred
that
million
said,
dollars.
if he really loves the Yankees, and
He'll
only
only
get
take 800 million. I
right.
mean,
Well,
500 million.
yeah, well, if they offer him 500 million, I'd say, well, that's a pretty good amount of money. I could probably live on that. I can feed my family on that.
Latrell Spiro might not be able to
No,
though.
no, he'd be worried. He said, "What are you kidding? $500 million? I can't feed my family on that. I've got 2 kids."
Hey, anyway, folks. Yeah, so we are fresh back from this. That's what we're back from. This.
And that's the name of it.
That is the name. It's this. I
That's
know.
the name. Okay, listen. I
Yeah.
could literally go all Abbott and Costello
Yeah,
on
we
that.
better not. No, we
Stop.
better not. So we are just back from user testings, the Human Insight Summit. That's where this comes from.
Hmm.
And first time either of us was gone. Give us your thoughts. What do you think of the last couple of days there?
Well, I mean, there's some personal stuff built into that one. We had Susie Penner and Paige Musto and Jamie Anderson and Johan Reed. I mean, seeing the four of them made it worth it, even if I learned nothing about user testing. I mean, part of the reason I went, to be honest, was to see them because last round for me. So, but I will tell you something. They're kind of onto something at the right time, and they put on. It was a good. It was funny. It was kind of a like we ate at this restaurant called Salty Sow, and if you went in, pretty simple, like in terms of the table setups and everything else, fairly simple, but it was upscale, and you kind of felt that, you felt it was kind of a hip, trendy kind of thing. That's kind of the conference was like that. It's not they didn't spend a ton of money on it really, but and the keynotes were very straightforward, but the hotel was very nice. The living room setup thing they had, which is called the living room, uh, was really cool, right? I mean, they did a lot of things. They had a bracelet bar that people could go and make, the like the friendship bracelet type things. Um, they had a lot of cool touches, and the food was actually decent. There wasn't like horrible food. Um, so they did a lot of nice things, and so the overall environment of the conference kind of worked. I and I also, from the standpoint of what their offer is, this is a good time for them if they really, really they got to kick the speed and fire and volume up a couple of notches, but um, they're human centered insights at a time where AI is dominating everything. And they use AI to basically, best way to put it, I guess, if I'm really simplifying it, probably oversimplifying a little bit, they use AI to help you organize and understand the insights, right? AI isn't the insight. AI is not finding the thing for you. The people are. And they have a panel, is what they call it, of over 1 million people who they draw on to do this. And they're very product development focused right now, or had historically have been, but their opportunity is massive. But to the point that both you and I made, they're going to have to really step up the volume quite a bit to gain traction in these expanded areas that they're looking at. So I was very impressed with them and the people, and of course, got to see it was in a really nice environment. They didn't overwork us, right? And we got to see our friends. And so, all in all, good way to go out for the year.
Yeah,
What?
no, I thought it was, Austin at that time of the year is a nice place to be,
Yeah,
actually.
you're not kidding. It's a great city.
Um, and yeah, it was, we got a chance to see folks that we haven't seen in a while, folks that we like, and that
Right.
automatically makes it a nice
Mm-hmm.
experience. But
Wonderful.
on top of that, yeah, I thought it was just well done, very well done.
Me too.
Well designed, like physically designed layout of the overall event. And maybe they took advantage of is the Fairmont in
Yeah.
Austin.
Yeah. Fairmont. Yeah.
Um, that's a nice hotel to have an event in.
Yeah. Really
The
nice.
way that you're able to, they made it like a little live studio audience, and what it was essentially like a corner, but it looked like a real live studio audience, and
That was cool. So you
yeah, that was
did what?
cool.
You did a couple of customer things there, right?
Yeah, I literally, I ended up calling them a few good minutes at this, you know,
Mhm.
and I had a chance to speak to two of their customers. I know one, Veronica Kimes and Melissa Garber, I think is what their names, from U.S. Bank and from Consumer Reports. And one was on the research side, and one was on the experience design side. And just sat down and had really casual conversations about like design and research, and really about how AI and Gen AI is impacting both of those areas. And what one was like, it's really, they fully embraced it, which is Consumer Reports. The other, they're not allowed to touch it, which is the bank. And you kind of know why. It's a bank.
Yeah.
You don't want no hallucinations going on when you talk about people's money.
Hi, you have $272 million in your account. I thought I had like $400.
Yeah, or worse yet, when you have 200 million and you say, you've got $4. It's not a
That's
good
right.
feeling. So, but it was really interesting, and the audience was really cool. I mean, each of those little, I almost felt like it was a Phil Donahue thing or something, where I'm like a talk show host or something, and there's like between 30 and 40 or 50 people, watching the conversation. It was cool, and then participating is really nice. I think they had about 500 people there total.
Yeah,
Um,
500 for the conference. Yeah.
Yeah, 500 for the conference, and it was the food was good. Um, they had these really cool little rooms. Like I hung out in the it was like I don't know if it's called the Tranquility Room, but it was like a room where you could go and people were like asleep in there,
Yeah.
and also getting massages and stuff. And the lights were down low, and it's the only thing you just have to be quiet. And I was like, oh, cool. They had it was just really well done. So hats off to them. We got a chance to talk with not only Jamie Anderson, but Johan Reed. We've known both of those guys for a long time, and also their chief product officer. I can't remember her name right now. Was it Michelle?
Michelle was her
Yeah,
first name, but I can't think of her
yeah, I
last
can't
name.
remember her last name. And the chief strategy officer,
Burhan,
Burhan. I
Burhan
don't remember his last name.
with an E. It's a Turkish name.
Yeah,
Turk, like
exactly.
Irkut or something like that.
But we spent some good time, kind of learning what's going on, and kind of getting a glimpse into where the direction they're going to take it. Because when you think about it, the CEO is new, Jamie is relatively new, Johan is new, and I think there's some other new folks in there as well. So, but I think it's a really good team, and of course, the folks that we know the longest, um, Susie and Paige. So I look forward to seeing what they do, because they're trying to move into CX, and it's not like they have a CX platform, but what their product can have significant impact on experiences of all kind, beyond the research experience and the user experience. So I think you're going to see them make some noise and have some impact in the CX space. Um, but it'll be fun to watch, because we know the folks there and we know what they're capable of, and it'll be interesting to see what they come up with.
Yeah, well, again, their opportunity is pretty big because they kind of have an established track record of success in what they've already done. And I think it was, well, you'll see. Jamie makes a point toward the end of the uh, the conversation. Well, I don't want to give it away yet, so
Yeah.
I'll
So
wait.
what we're gonna do, yeah, so what we're gonna do is, instead of having a live studio guest, although we don't have a studio, but we actually recorded a CRM Players special show with Jamie. And of course, Jamie is somebody we know for years, not only through his professional stops, SAP and Marketo and Adobe and Exactly, and was a review or something like that. Wasn't there
Uh,
another one in there?
no, with an E. I'm blocking it.
Yeah, I can't remember. But now he's the president of global field ops
Yep.
for user testing. So we got a chance to spend some extensive time with him, which is great. So we're gonna play uh, that conversation in a little bit. But before we do that, you just did a show.
Yeah, it was a good one. So I did Talking Headless today at noon, and I had Stephanie Trihane, who is Zoom's AR person, on, and we talked about. She's so smart, man. She's really good. We talked about Zoom because they're expanding their kind of mission hugely, and they're broadening their portfolio into areas that are just historically either completely unknown to them or places where they just played peripherally for quite a while. The question became, what does AR do in circumstances like that? Well, all of a sudden, the analyst pool for, say, communications or uniform communications was maybe, let's call it 50 or 70 analysts or something. And now all of a sudden, you've got about 800 analysts you got to figure out because of the broadening of your thing. And how do you do that? What do you think about? How do you tier? Do you tier it? What do you do about engagement, right? Because and we talked about a little separately. Look, which is that there comes a point where, given that a lot of analysts make their living on advisory work or market research or something like that, um, but at the same time, a lot of them are willing to talk to you for free for a while. When's the point where you think they're starting to feel that you're taking advantage of them because you haven't engaged them. And how do you deal with that when you know you've got budgets that can only go so far? And we talked about that. And then I had Erwin Lazar on, who was one of the co-founders of Metrigy. And Erwin is a guy that we met at uh, Zoho's event in January in McAllen, and he was great. I mean, first of all, he's just a really nice human being, and we got into some detail on what he does, which is actually a little more extensive than I thought. He has one partner named Robin. I don't know her last name. Robin Gabbia with a G. Um, and so he covers collaboration, communication, and employee engagement. And she covers, which was actually a little surprising, customer engagement. And there was one other area, I can't remember what. I was a little surprised because I don't know her, and you don't. I don't think you do. And we've never seen her anywhere particularly. But it's customer engagement, which would seem to fall within our domain. But we talked about bit of that. And then the other thing we talked about, which is interesting, because I've always talked with the AR people on how you know, how you actually interact for the relationship and what he actually, when you're dealing with analysts, who are minimally a very crusty lot. And I asked him, well, how do you deal with AR people? I asked him the opposite question. I never do that. Never think about how the analyst actually deals with the AR side. We're always thinking about how the AR side deals with the analyst. But how does he do it? How does he find companies? How does he meet the person? How does he, when he meets the person, how does he determine what kind of person they are relative to him? I said, do you have friends in the AR world? Are they professional acquaintances who you like or what? So we talked about that too. It was really, really, really good conversation with two extremely nice people, right? So it went really well. And I'm sure we'll have a couple of clips from it. It's already up.
Cool. And I, at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I don't think we've ever done that before.
Oh,
Shows going simultaneously. But I spent a few good minutes with Brett Weigel, who's SVP of AI over at Genesis, and
old buddy.
talking about kind of the potential for AI and Gen AI and the impact it might have on this upcoming holiday shopping season. And it's really cool, just batting some ideas around, and some really interesting takes. And it's almost sort of like this is the second full year of holiday shopping under the, I guess, the post chat GPT era. And we might actually start seeing some actual real impact on the shopping, the holiday shopping this time around, from Gen AI, from a variety of perspectives. So what we're gonna do, I think, because I asked him, do you think we're gonna have a good holiday season? Not that he's an economist or anything, but um, he said some things that led you to believe he does think it will, and Gen AI will have an impact on why it might be good. And so we're gonna find out. Maybe we're gonna circle back around in a couple months after all is said and done, and see if it was a good holiday season shopping wise, and B, if there was a significant impact from Gen AI on it, and maybe what might have caused it to be a good shopping season. So interesting stuff. I mean, it's so many things going on, and when you're looking at it from a consumer perspective, a company perspective, a logistics perspective, a service perspective. The Gen AI is impacting so many different aspects of our lives. Now we're really interested to see what impact it had on an important season for businesses and consumers, the holiday shopping season.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting stuff. So we'll see. It's too early to tell yet, but we're going to circle back around and kind of dissect it once we have some time. So that's that. There's nobody here, and I've got like the greatest, absolute greatest, because it just popped up, the greatest Stump the Godfather question. And there's like crickets out there. There's nobody there. I don't know if
No.
I want to use it
Well, go.
because but I want to use it because I don't think
Use
it'll
it this
let.
week.
I don't know. It might not, and people might know about it by next. I literally just
I
got a
mean,
notification about it. I'm
Well, you know
afraid if
what?
I wait, then the
Well, here's the
J.R.
deal.
Clarks of the world are going to be out
I
there.
might actually have a notification on it too. Then
Yeah, sure.
we have a lot of similar notifications. I mean, I have like 8,000 notifications here, so I won't find it at the moment. But
Oh, look who's here, Patrick. All right. Well, if Patrick is here, I might have to use it because this is a good one. Oh my. All right. I had one to go before,
you have
and
no
then
patience.
I've got two. I've actually got, I think, with two good ones, but this one is just really good. There's no way.
I have a funny
No
feeling that our definitions of good are very different.
way. Well, since Rebecca and Patrick are here, it might just be a very quick Stump the Godfather, and then we can kick it over to our conversation with Jamie.
All right.
But all right, indulge me.
Happy Halloween.
And now it's time for Stump the Godfather with the venerable Paul Greenberg. Brought to you by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot.
You know what? I was in a meeting earlier today, and somebody brought up Benny Hill.
No.
I'm not kidding.
Oh my God.
I don't know if they brought it up because they know that's the theme music for Stump the Godfather or not. But we weren't talking about Stump the Godfather.
Wow.
Just Benny Hill just came out, and a big smile broke out on my face.
Amen.
I think I actually started doing this. And it wasn't like the music was playing. You never hear Benny Hill now. You got to.
Well, you see it running through the forest, run through the trees. That's the image I have. Right, that scene where he's like running through the trees really fast. I think that's hilarious.
Maybe that's it. All right. So, oh, by the way, yes, Rebecca, is Patrick dressing up for Halloween? Are you gonna go out and what do they call? Do the pets go out for Halloween? Like,
I have no clue. My cats are outside already, so.
Is Patrick dressing up as anything? That'd be interesting though. All right. So let me see. Let me bring this down because I want to make sure I don't blow it. All right, I'm going to go straight to the one I think is going to be the funnest. Oh, you know what? Okay. Let's see. Try this. Check your. Oh, wait a minute. We got a text here. Oh, oh,
Oh, the picture.
it's a picture of Patrick.
Can you
Oh yes, Patrick is dressed up. I wish I could put it on the screen.
Yeah.
Can't really. And all, you know what? It's showing up like Patrick is wearing something blue because it's sort of bleeding through. It's actually green he's wearing.
That's right.
That was weird. How did that happen?
I don't know. Look at this. Look at this. I'm holding.
That is really weird.
It comes out completely. I wonder if it's because. Oh, I know why. It's green screen blue. It's green screen blue.
Oh. That is really interesting.
Yeah, it stays blue though.
I don't get.
Oh
that.
no, but look at the blue up against my blue, and then watch the blue turn dark when I move it, and that's because it's picking up blue light from below.
Yeah, that's kind of
that's
weird.
what it was.
All right. So I think I have it. This is I can't. I got to do this. All right. So here's this week's Stump the Godfather question, brought to you by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot. Russia says Google owes them what amount for not paying fines? And I literally just got this. So there's an amount that Russia says Google owes them because they have not paid fines. And we're talking a pretty significant number. That's my only hint is it is a rather significant number.
Is it
that
in
Russia
dollars
says
or rubles?
it's in dollars. It is in dollars. So
I got to know.
Rebecca and Patrick, and let me give you a hint. It's gonna take a pretty significant number of woofs. That's all I can say. And if anybody else is out there, take your guess. I would, if anybody gets this, I know that you've cheated. That's how I think there's no way in the world nobody's gonna get this right. Anyway, if Rebecca and Patrick don't take a guess, then you can go ahead and guess.
I got to guess, but it's clearly like I'm making it up. Said not enough.
Not enough wolves in the world.
Hmm.
That is actually apparently there is, but it's a pretty significant amount of wolves, particularly if one wolf equals $1 billion. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to take a guess?
Yeah. 650 billion. I'm literally making
650 billion.
I bet you it's like a trillion or something because you said if a wolf equals $1 billion, there are enough, but that means there's a lot.
I just said it's going to be a pretty significant number of wolves.
I'm going with $650 billion.
$650 billion. I'm guessing nobody else is going to render a guess on this one. Maybe everybody is at CCE. Maybe that's it.
No, they're not.
That's okay. All right. So the answer to this week's special Stump the Godfather question: how much does Russia say Google owes them for not paying fines? The number is.
Oh my God. Wait a minute.
I tried to make it so it's supposedly 20 with 36 zeros after that, which would be, and I'm going straight to the notification on this one.
Go to Copilot.
Google reportedly owes Russia around 20 billion trillion after refusing to pay fines.
Wow. I don't think they're going to pay.
20 billion trillion. I didn't even know you could do that.
No, I didn't think you can. I'm going to ask Copilot what number that actually is recall.
It's 20 billion trillion.
No, but like
36 zeros.
Like there's a number, for example, there's a sextillion, there's an octillion, and that would be 8 sets of zeros, things like that.
36 zeros. That's what it says. 36. I don't know how long this debt has been out. Is that like a speeding ticket over there that somebody got?
Know. I have no idea.
20 billion. Is there even that much money in the world? I mean, yeah, more than the global economy. I mean, I think old Vlad is sniffing something over there. I don't know. But you think that Google will get on a payment plan, maybe?
Yeah, 20 sextillion per year.
Even if they paid like a trillion a year, we're talking 20 billion trillion. I don't even know how to.
I'm actually asking. I asked Copilot. We'll see what they come up with.
For blocking Russian broadcasts on YouTube. Yeah, for not giving Russia Google AdWords
That's right.
income from it. Man, now you want to see what that's why I was like, man, I got it. So we want to see what I was gonna go with.
Sure.
All right, because it'll probably be too late to use it before. All right, so this is the original I was going to, because there's earnings season and Microsoft just came out with their earnings, and I was looking over the earnings transcript, and I saw a number that was really interesting. So this is coming straight from the Microsoft quarterly earnings transcript.
Okay.
Nearly what percentage of the Fortune 500 now use Microsoft 360 Copilot?
Well, that's an interesting one.
Yeah. And no looking, just take a guess.
No, I'm
Patrick.
still working on it. I'm still working. Oh, here it's called a undecillion. UNDECILLION.
I'd
So
rather
that
have
would be
a
20 undecillion dollars.
I want a Sicilian slice now.
Yeah, an undecillion.
No, I want a Sicilian slice. Because
That's like
you want an undecillion, I want a Sicilian.
$5.79 at any pizzeria.
All right, so take a guess. What percentage of the Fortune 500 now use Microsoft 365 Copilot? So Patrick Scott, woof woof woof. Was does that mean 30%?
That's what I would guess. 30% would he
30%?
say.
Okay. So you and Patrick.
No, I'll go with 47%.
40%.
I'm keeping it below 50.
It's like the ode to the year that Jackie Robinson broke the color line.
That's
or something.
right. Well, 42%. the ode to Jackie Robinson.
That would be his
Mariano-
uniform.
Yeah, Mariano Rivera and Jackie Robinson.
All right. So 30 and 42%. The answer is 70%.
Wow.
70% of the Fortune, well, it says nearly. So
But even
nearly 70 of the Fortune 500 now use Microsoft 365. Are you surprised?
I mean, a little, but not terribly. I mean, I was deliberately keeping it under 50%, but the reality is it's fairly, let's say this. Think of it this way. One, it's ubiquitous. So that you could be using it in Windows and it still goes under that name. Two, they have PCs that have a key, laptops that have keys for it, right? So you literally hit a key and it'll bring up Copilot. You know, these neural net ones, right? That's what I mean. So no, not horribly surprised. Are you?
No, I'm not actually. Oh, Kevin is late. First of all, hey Kevin, you're late, but he believes it. 70%. It's you think about it. Everybody's jumping on the AI bandwagon, and like you said, it's almost like Microsoft has a Trojan horse between the Office stuff and
Windows.
and Windows, and so and it's embedded in some of this other stuff they have now. Like
Yeah, and the latest updates on Windows made it like it's literally on your taskbar. It just kind of has an icon that sits in the middle, right? So it's just there. So to your point, you know, and I use it for everything, really. That's what I did to find out undecision.
right there you go. So by the way, Microsoft revenues last quarter. You want to take a guess at that?
No, I don't. I've already given you 2 and 1. That's
68 billion.
Oh, what's declining?
And guess this is the other thing that was kind of pointed out. Our AI business is on track to surpass an annual revenue run rate of $10 billion.
Oh my God!
Next quarter.
I think Mark needs to be quiet now about Microsoft Copilot.
I mean, it's a juggernaut. Well, let's put it like this: it's on pace to be a $10 billion run rate next quarter. So next quarter, it'll be a $10 billion a year business. And that didn't take how long?
That's what I'm saying. First of all, it happens to. It's good. I look. It's not perfect, but it's damn good now. And hallucinations are at a minimum. I've seen a few things. It has one bad tendency I've noticed in terms of just like if you ask it for a list of something and you say, well, no, that list is wrong. Give me this and make sure that this is part of it. And they'll go, oh, I'm so sorry. And then they'll repeat the list. It does things like that. It tends to be repetitive and it's not doing its homework as well as it should until you tell it. Spend more time and find out, and then then it'll change. But the irony of it is it's also responsive in a quasi-human way. And that's actually another reason it's so popular. It works that way. And it actually works. The responsive, you treat it as if you're texting someone.
They even pointed out what company was that? One company created their own chat bot or whatever and rolled it out to 52,000 of their employees.
By the way, it just occurred to me, we don't have time to do Jamie's conversation.
Well, we can play, you know.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we split into 2 parts?
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll play, what is it, 20 minutes or so? I don't know, something like that. By the way, have you guys checked out Agent Force? I don't know what the usage is on Agent Force.
I don't either.
But that's really relative. Matter of fact, wait a minute. Was it just supposed to come out late this month? Like
it came out like 3 days ago.
Yeah, October 25th is what I thought was originally supposed to come out.
Yeah, this week.
Yeah. So I mean, they can't possibly be in the Fortune 500, 70% of the Fortune 500 yet. But
no,
it'll be interesting to see how fast they do get.
They won't get there.
Not like I don't. It's going to take a while. I
And it's
mean,
a different product. I mean, it does different.
absolutely.
It's focused in a completely different way.
And this is more of a well, and they've made Microsoft Copilot be like a general,
Yeah,
almost like a Swiss Army knife Copilot.
it's basically it's got a very. It's interesting because that's very like Agent Force is focused on business and business process and things like that. Um, Copilot's focused on individuals using it for something.
Right.
It's very different. Metaphor even is totally different. The comparison isn't even legitimate, really.
But you know what? I find this fascinating. Fascinating. These numbers, the way these things are grown. I saw where and this is not a Stump the Godfather, but you want to take a guess at how many people are doing weekly interactions or searches using Perplexity now?
Oh, I have no clue. Not even a slight clue.
100 million weekly
In
interactions
Perplexity,
and Perplexity.
they're all using Rabbit.
Yeah, zero.
Yeah. Well, Rabbit gives you a free $200 credit for Perplexity.
But think about this though. Nobody even knew what Perplexity was
No,
2 years ago because ChatGPT hasn't even been out for 2 years yet. It's coming up next, at the end of November, I guess.
right.
It'll be 2 years,
pretty
but it
much.
hasn't even been 2 years. And you got stuff like that, like something that called Perplexity that most people still don't really know about. But 100 million searches going on every week or whatever they call it. I don't even know what they call
Yeah.
it. But these numbers are just unbelievable when you think
Yeah.
about it.
Well, I mean, to the if you take it on the sort of the biggest picture possible, it's saying that the use of AI is becoming mainstream and normal. It's starting to. It's not there yet, but it's on the way. And I mean, which regardless of, I mean, the next big phase of things like that is how do they talk to each other? That's always the next phase, right? How do you, and you know what? Here's the funny thing. Companies like ServiceNow and Microsoft are doing all of the integrations at the business side so they can talk to each other. So, I mean, people are putting things into place, and it's like you use the internet. Really, it's at a certain the browser began making the internet easier to use, right? So,
Well, and it goes back to this conversation that was started with bringing together all these VCPE kind of people that are looking for companies, to invest in, and AI is at the heart of all this. Look at all the unstructured data that's being created, and I mean, from like 2 years ago to 100 million weekly for Perplexity, and that's just one of these things. It's not even a big dog yet.
no,
And so you start to think people's behaviors are changing rapidly. We used to think of Google as the place you go for almost everything when it comes to search. Now, like you said, you don't even a lot of people are not even doing a lot of the stuff they used to search for anymore.
the only way I ever use Google search is, and in fact, when I use search now, I kind of use Bing search because Copilot's embedded there, right? So I can I can use Copilot for Bing search, right? And Microsoft's very smart in that, they have a rewards program attached to your use of search, and it's tied directly into Copilot and other things. So like I have 15,000 points, which I can redeem if I want for at the moment, like a $15 Amazon gift certificate or whatever. But Microsoft's smart enough to integrate AI into Bing, and so I made my search engine Bing, and I never would have done that if it weren't for that. And again, to show how this thing, someone insists. So the new MacBook Pro M4s came out, and one of my things was I'm not really doing. I just admitted to myself I'm not doing that much video editing that it really matters. I have some heavy duty M4 machine. On the other hand, I do want a different machine because that thing weighs a ton. M1 weighs 5 pounds. So I began looking at what Snapdragon CPU, Microsoft Copilot plus PCs, laptops, right, which have the neural, stuff built in. And I thought, all right, on the Mac side, I'll just buy the Mac Mini and use that, and I'll carry. Because, well, here's the other thing.
Mac Mini is really mini now.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I need, and I don't need to take it with me. I'd leave it here. I use the Mac here, but I use it on the road to do things I don't need a Mac for with an M4 chip. That's for sure. But here's the other side of that. You have these Copilot plus PCs with the AI built directly in, and they weigh 2 pounds less than the Mac M1, right? So think about the portability of AI in the hardware side. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This thing's ubiquitous, and Microsoft's doing almost everything right about it.
I'm gonna play this because this clip from our show out at Cloud World when we were talking to the double dynamic duos. We talked to Hillel Cooperman and Jenny Lamb on the design side. We also talked to Rob Pinkerton and Katrina Gosek, who are kind of the Oracle's dynamic duo CX. And as I was having this conversation with Brett Weigel talking about the shopping stuff and AI and its impact for this holiday season, it made me remember what Rob said, and I'm going to play this, and we'll talk about it.
We've had a chance to talk to you since, all the Gen AI hoopla, but how has that impacted the way that you guys approach CX?
I'll give you an example of my favorite Gen AI shopping feature. And that is that I can argue. This summer I had to buy a new barbecue, and a barbecue is it's an expensive online purchase. But if you go to a traditional customer experience and search for it, you get a lot of ads and a lot of curated content, none of which gave me what I wanted, right? And if you go on the web pages, you're loaded with videos and images, and you're thrown into all these funnels for not what I want, right? I know what I want. You go to ChatGPT or Grok or Perplexity or any of these options, I say, here's what I think I want. Here, I want a smart grill, I want free delivery, I want this thing, and it comes back with answers, and I say, but that's wrong. I don't want that. And I can argue with it. And in this case, think about this when you look for something and an ad pops up or an email solicitation comes through. You can't, if it's wrong, you're just kind of at its mercy, right? But now you're in this dynamic where there's agency with whatever you're talking through. And it literally went through, conversation of no, I want this. Well, can you go find this? I ended up buying it at the local hardware store. It actually took me there offline. Think that this was the best place to go. And it's just a totally different customer experience. So you ask what we're thinking about is we're trying to figure out where things will be so that we can help our customers get there more quickly than everyone else, because we are nearly saturated right now when it comes to sort of what digital is. I mean, no one's looking for more emails, ads, web pages, it's social media.
No, but I know.
There's a lot out there. So we've got to figure out where this is going to be.
That really hit on a lot of the stuff that we're talking about here.
But I do the same exact thing. I argue with I do. I literally, again, there's this quasi-human interaction going on that's also at the same time blameless. So, for example, if I'm on with a salesperson for a laptop, let's say, on the phone, and I'm trying to for Best Buy or from Micro Center or something. I'm saying, well, I want this, and this, and this, and they'll go, well, okay, we have this, and this, and this. Now, part of what he's going to tell me will meet the requirements I have. The other part will be things he wants to sell me, right? Now, in the meantime, I'll say, no, that's not what I asked you for. But in the meantime, I'm also saying, oh, wow, I'm being kind of testy to this person, right? With Copilot, I'll say, I want this, and this, and this. And they'll say, I want to make sure it's under 4 pounds, let's say. And they'll come back and they'll have 5 choices, of which 3 are 4.2 pounds. And I'll say, no, I said under 4. That's wrong, like that. And I write that, right? And it'll go, oh, I'm sorry. Here's three other options. And then they'll have Another one still over 4 pounds. I said under 4, and I'll literally write it like that, like I'm argumentative, and it'll come up with an answer. And it'll apologize along the way. But I also know I'm not insulting a human, right? I'm not making a human feel bad. And that actually has some impact on how you argue with the actual AI. But you can do that, and because it's a quasi-human customer experience, even though it's not at all really. But and to Rob's point, you get exactly what you want at a certain point. You got to work on it. It's not as straightforward as it might sound, because you got to really narrow this down, narrow that down. I'll say no screen under 15 inches, and I'll get 14-inch screens. So
Yeah, but think about how many of what percentage of those 100 million interactions going on Perplexity are at have been kind of gone through Google before, and now their people are already transitioning.
Oh yeah, I mean, to me, I see it. I don't want to call it routine. Like if I look at the people who we're friends with in, say, Manassas, some of them are taxi drivers. They could be cleaning ladies, whatever, But blue collar people, though, they don't use it. They use Google search still, right? There is a white collarish side to this thing at this point, but here's the deal. When they see it, because they asked me to show it to them in several cases, they're actually interested in it. Meaning, it's saying, "Oh, I can do that," right? They didn't know. It's just they didn't know, right? But once they know, you can do that. I'm not sure what you mean. The bias built into the software, or into the.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you mean, Kevin? What do you mean on that exactly?
But I think the arguing is once again this unstructured data that is now becoming an opportunity for folks to use and analyze and leverage, because before because you wanted to argue but you couldn't, it wasn't there. Now it's materializing. I'm starting to think that all these VC guys that we talk to, like a Larry Augustine, like, and talk to the Ed, I forget his last name. All these folks that are saying this potential for the almost like the hegemony of the enterprise industry enterprise software architecture. There is maybe a possibility, maybe even more though. So for this disruption to take place, because all this data is pouring in from and being able to be used, it just wasn't happening before. But now, not only is it there, now it's being captured and being leveraged with all this machine learning in the LLMs. Is there a real opportunity for this enterprise architecture that's been built on database technology and structured data? Is there really an opportunity for the potential for all this now accessible unstructured data to actually cause this disruption that these folks were talking about?
It's possible. One of the big questions is going to be what's being defined as unstructured data, and what kind of on the technology side, what kind of model can handle it. Like, for example, when I was asking, when Rob was asking about his grill, or was it barbecue, right? His grill.
Yeah.
I was asking about the laptop. That's actually sort of structured data, even though it's not unstructured. It's preference data, though. I mean, it's data on. Imagine if 500,000 people ask my question, right, or ask his question. All of a sudden, you got amazing data on customer preferences and interests, right? That's out there saying, wow, there's a real interest apparently in these, Copilot plus AI PCs. Let's build them. Or there's a real interest in a grill that seems to do this, and this. Let's build that, right? Or let's push that out from our product line. I mean, the data's there, but the question is that I'm working within a framework already, meaning Copilot itself. Is that unstructured or structured? It's new, but is that unstructured? I don't know. See, my problem right now with the conversation around unstructured, I'm not 100% certain on what's being defined as unstructured data.
Well,
Right?
I think it's, let's face, like, it's not in the traditional tables of a database. It's not that kind of the enterprise architecture structure that's been put in place over decades. It's not in that.
So
Does that
basically,
make it unstructured?
if that's unstructured, then it's basically data that's not entered into a database in some way. So, like, in other words, if I enter sales data as a salesperson into my CRM system, that's structured.
Well,
But if
you're using a front end, and that front end allows you to place it into those tables.
and
Right.
that would be structured. But I'm assuming if I then see my potential customers' conversations out on, X or on Meta instead, or Facebook or Twitter, that's unstructured, and I'm capturing it, right?
So Kevin is saying semi-structured domain. Yeah, domain is the key point. That makes the AI more effective.
Right.
Look at that Zoom thing, the Read app for
the read.
that report is unbelievable.
It's incredibly good. It's a little intrusive, but it's very.
It is.
Yeah.
But that all came about just letting people have a regular conversation or a meeting.
Now that unstructured data, but it's unstructured data immediately being put into a structure. It's being entered in a new way, basically.
Right.
So
Well,
to me, that the net effect of it is it's new structured data, right? Which is ultimately the way even unstructured data has to be.
Well, new structured data from completely unstructured interactions.
Exactly. But the net of all of it is it has to be put into something, into some framework in order to be useful at all. Anyway, even if it's captured from the ether.
But I think the interesting part of that is nobody needs to input it in order for it to be used.
Right. It's
in the traditional sense of
captured. It's
captured.
It's captured by the machine itself, so to speak. Well, remember when Microsoft Vista first came out, one of the things that was so impressive about it, and it still remains impressive, is the salespeople who were using it didn't have to enter the data, right? It was entered for them. It was the data entry was in effect taken care of for them. So I think it's probably more this is just me spinning here a little bit.
Yeah.
Spitballing, but
You're freestyling.
Yeah, that's right. And I'll get 30 million views because I'm freestyling. Me and Harry, what's his name? Harry Mack.
Oh, that guy, yeah, Harry.
He's good though. God,
he is
good. He's like a genius at it. Give him anything and he can do it. Anyway, I think the discussion really shouldn't be the use of unstructured data. It's more like the capture of new data and what to do with it and how to handle it, right? To the point you were making just a couple minutes ago. I think that's more important than is the data unstructured or not.
Well, think about this. If Zoom can do that for those meetings,
yeah,
I would love to have enterprise applications act like that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I guess the other side of it is it's pretty much almost real. Well, the data capture is going on in real time, and the analysis of it is going on in near real time, meaning as it's happening,
right, because those reports come out like right after you end the meeting.
Right, and I have a funny feeling that if there was another iteration of it, it could be an ongoing. Well, no, it is an ongoing. I take it back. During the meeting, if you remember the report,
yeah, you're seeing it.
It talks about participants and how much percentage of the conversation they're holding. That changes as the conversation
in real time.
Real time.
But the report can't really come out until you end the meeting.
Right.
It has to have an endpoint for
Well, it's a report, right?
Right.
Yeah, to your point. But the data capture and some analysis is going on in real time and being presented in real time, which is really something. I mean, that to me is a much more interesting discussion than unstructured versus structured.
Well, it's almost sort of like just another way of kind of saying that, which is a
Yeah,
more
it
interesting
is.
way.
But I think what we're getting to, you and I getting to here, and Kevin too, and Rebecca too, is
And Patrick, don't leave out Patrick.
Patrick is DNA, man. Straight out DNA. Patrick and Minnie are plays and our pets in residence. But PIR.
Our purrs.
Purrs. Now we need a cat then. Maybe we'll give you my new little kitten when she gets healthier. Layla. She's adorable. So but I think
wouldn't it be cool if enterprise apps were more in that
Yes.
line of use?
Way cooler than it is right now.
So let's take the step. Why can't they be? If that is out there now, why can't there be?
I think just because you and I just figured it out.
but let's say if a Zoom has figured out that,
well, that's a Zoom partner.
or yeah, that's right. Yeah. Is it that big a step for it to start going that direction?
No, I honestly think that there's a lot of companies right now that could do that. I think that, however, either they're not talking about it or they're not thinking in that way. But I think technically the skill sets and the code or whatever they're using is there to do it. I also don't think because what we're doing is we're shifting the conversation from the classic one, which is structured versus unstructured, to the use of new data and its capture. New data is capture and use, regardless of capture and use, including how it gets entered, et cetera, et cetera. In other words, the flow of how new data gets captured and used is really where the discussion should be. If the sources of that data are external to someone typing in data entry, so be it. It's still data, and and ultimately you're bringing it into a structure of some kind.
Well, just think about like how much more productive you are with those meetings with that output, where first of all, you wouldn't be able to get that level of detail because I don't care what human there is, that human can never get what that thing is getting, and then to turn it around and as quickly as it turns it around and as detailed as that stuff is, there's absolutely no human that can work with that. But that's the kind of thing that will make you want to work with the enterprise app, because now you're getting some stuff out that you don't have to do anything extra other than talk, get the right people involved, and talk about the right stuff.
There's 20 trillion use cases for it too, right? I mean, that's the thing. It's like almost everything. You know how we were talking with user testing has been very, while it's human centered, it's very historically has been very product development focused, but they've got an immense number of use cases that could do that. It's the same here, right? You know how a lot of times when we talk enterprise apps, we tend to talk about things that impact process and rules, right? A lot of it, right? Which is operational, meaning operational stuff. But it's so much more than that. And what we're saying and what you're saying when you're talking, enterprise apps here is, well, imagine a consistent real-time result of activities and that have been captured, analyzed, and exposed, meaning shown. And then at the end of the day, the structured part of it is the report you get, right? But it's structured at that point. I think those things are the way the discussion should be rolling. I do not think that structured versus unstructured data discussion has been going on since social started, right? And I never really loved it particularly, because ultimately it's what data you have and how you use it, and where do you get it and where does it go? Invoice account rec was the first killer AI. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned that I was in a conversation with somebody and they mentioned that. I can't even remember who it was. I have so many of these conversations and they're good. But yeah, I think the potential to take the approach that this Zoom Read AI thing is having, because we know that's going to make, if we're all sitting in Zooms, you're doing 5-6 Zooms a day. There's no way you're going to be able to really take in all that you sit there through 5 or 6 of these Zooms. You know, you're you're zoning out, you're not paying attention, you might be missing some key elements, but that thing isn't.
No, well, that's the thing. In fact, at the end of it, when you look at the report, you said, "Oh, wait, I said that?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I said that.
I didn't. I don't remember saying that."
But
Right?
and then when you kind of tie it into what Jamie was talking about yesterday,
Yeah, which
and I
we'll
love
not
the
be getting
quote.
to today.
No, we're gonna it'll be on its own. But
Yeah.
I love when he said surveys do not capture the outlier,
Right.
and the innovation is at the edge, which is what an outlier is.
Exactly.
And so even look what user testing, it's not just, what I think he said, tell people to take a survey and, from 1 to 5 and, multiple choice. That only gets you like one dimension of information and insight. But doing what they do with the user test platform, where you're able to see how people come about it and what their sentiment and thought is, and so you're getting it's multi dimensions.
Yeah,
From the user test.
Yeah, you're getting human. Basically, you're getting human storytelling in a format, right? An amazing format, right? Which is here's what I saw. Here's why I didn't like it. Here's you know what? Maybe you could do this. I don't know. I mean, but you're getting conversation. In effect, the person who's communicating is communicating and conversing with you on behalf of whatever it is you're looking to get done. And user testing is capturing all of that, and also using the AI to organize all of that, which is amazing.
So that's where I think if you really want to solve the enterprise adoption problem for applications like CRM, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
Because the thing that people do not want to do is take time to fill out stuff and a type and swipe and click into a system where they don't know what they're getting out of it. And it feels like if they get something out of it, is it really worth the time and effort to put all this data in? But if you get something like this that allows them to just natural language stuff and get the right people involved and the right team, and you're tackling an issue without having to do all that stuff, but you get this great report, with what took place and what are the next steps, and based on the analysis that this thing does in the background, here's where you need to go without having to go through all that stuff.
Right.
Now you got people wanting to use a system because it's not a system.
I'd say the conversation should, if on the highest level here, general conversation out there should shift from what do we do unstructured versus structured? The conversation shift to how do we source, capture, analyze, incorporate, and present new data, period. From wherever it comes from. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. How the rest of it is what matters. It may matter in that, okay, to get it from social, I have to do this. But that's what I'm saying, how to capture, right? It may matter of getting it from, somewhere else, do this. But how, maybe from a phone conversation. How to do it's capture it, it's organize it, it's analyze it, it's place it in a format and present it, right? Meaning you're capturing this new data, you're defining the data, you're giving people the basis for insight, and you're presenting it to them in a structured way. One way or the other, it's always going to end up, if you presented it to them in an unstructured way, quote unquote, it would just be gibberish, right?
You got to have some shape, you got to have some framing.
And that's what structured data is all about. It's in something that gives it the shape and the frame and the potential for the output that's useful. And from this standpoint, though, end this goddamn conversation about unstructured data and start looking at how do we do new data? What do we do with new data and how do we handle it? That's
You know what? If the people that are creating the systems need to talk about it in that way, I'm okay with that.
I'm not.
But the bottom line is that's the tactics. What we're talking about is the reasoning and the actual what people are going to do or what regular folks are going to do and use.
Exactly. And to be honest, though, the only reason I'm really not in favor of it because then the conversation goes into those stupid loops all the time. and they keep going back to the same thing. Oh, we've heard that same damn thing for 25 years, right? It's ridiculous. And I usually keep my mouth shut, but just because, we have guests or there are people out there we're talking to who are nice people, but I just won't buy into that argument. I just won't do it.
I like Kevin's return on typing. Yeah, and to me, we all know sales. You're just talking about salespeople. That's the reason why they hate CRM.
Yeah,
they don't want to do any of that stuff.
No,
and I don't blame them.
I thought that's why Microsoft's product, when it came out, was actually at the time, because it was the first really when Nahab was still at Microsoft. It was really, really, really a big deal. That was a big deal. There's the first product that said, you do not have to do that anymore. We got it for you. We got you, right? We'll help you, salespeople. And that was the thing. If you remember, they said it's not going to help. This isn't a customer-focused product. It's a salesperson-focused product, right? And they just got it right. Once again, probably a small part of their 68 billion.
Anyway. Yeah, well, it will be interesting to see if there is an actual shift in how enterprise application architecture is moved in order to get to the things that we're talking about.
Maybe we should have that conversation. Maybe one of the speeches at IRL 2025, January 21st and 22nd at the Atlanta Tech Village in Atlanta, Georgia, should be that conversation. The saying, stop talking unstructured, let's talk. Something like that. Just that'd be a debate question. One of our great debate questions.
Could be.
Yeah, one of the 3 great debate questions.
Yeah, because I think it's time. I mean, it feels like the technology is there. What we're seeing with that Read AI thing, and what we're seeing with the perplexities where your conversations. I mean, and it doesn't necessarily just to be one-on-one. It could be group conversations.
Yeah, you and Mitch Lieberman and Dan Miller conversational AI for a long time, right?
I've been hoping for where you just talk to your CRM application for 8 years.
Yeah.
And I just got kind of like
you are the ones I always associate when I hear the word conversational at all. I mean, even when I just hear the word, I think of the 3 of you immediately as the people who really have been, and one other person. Take again. I'll give you one hint. He's Irish.
Oh, Graham?
No. Nope.
Oh, Paul Sweeney.
You got it.
Yeah.
Paul.
He's Irish. Yeah, my fellow Irishman.
Yeah. Another one of the unsung greats is Paul.
Sounds like a great name for a rock band, the Unsung Greats.
Well, that'll be Paul and you and Dan.
But yeah, it's. I think we're getting to the point. It seems like the technology is definitely there. I mean,
let's go with this. I'm in. Right. Let's go at this. All right.
So, unfortunately, we talked all through the Jamie Anderson. So we'll set it up to be its own show,
right?
Very soon. Because that was a great conversation.
It was fantastic, and I guarantee, watch it. You'll actually really genuinely love it. And there are some of Jamie's not so hidden talents, but not so frequently used talents that are on display.
Yeah, I even put a little bit of a clip out there earlier today.
Go check it out on Brent's LinkedIn profile.
Yep. So, but in the meantime, we'll get that posted because this year has been full of great conversations.
Yeah. Good year.
And the year ain't over because we're doing our annual "What is CRM in
2025.
In this case, it'll be 2025. But I think this is like the third year we're doing this. We
Yeah,
started out, we did the what is CRM in 2023,
23.
I guess.
Yeah, it was 3, 4, and now 5 coming up.
Yeah, and the conversations were so good that first year we said, well, we need to expand it, and we did the big guys one day, and then we did, I don't want to call it
we did the big
yeah, from a
guys,
revenue,
right, and then we did the billion dollar and guys and down,
right,
billion
right.
and down. No, we did the $1 billion and billion and down.
Yeah, it was well, most of them are a billion.
Yeah.
And so we're going to do that again, but we're taking another expansion is needed because we're running into companies like Zoom
and
user testing that are not CX players, but the things that they're doing could have a serious impact on CX. So we're calling that like the non-CX panel. We're still, kind of putting that together, but that all could lead up to the in-person discussion in January in Atlanta at the Atlanta Tech Village, January 21st to the 22nd.
And if you're interested in an invitation, and we have an invitation list. It's invite only. Tickets are no cost to tickets. If you're interested, now Kevin, you're on the list already, so you don't need to do this. But those of you who are out there who might be listening or see a clip of this later, send an email to me in lowercase Paul-Greenberg3 at the56group.com with your name, your company, your title, your email, and that's all I need.
Your credit card,
right? Yeah, right. Your credit card and a paperclip with $500 in cash. Right. So no, just send me those 4 things. I can't guarantee you that you'll get an invite, but you'll be put on at least a wait list if need be. Otherwise, you will get an invite. But please send that to me, and if you are interested. All
right. So, man, that was a little supersized.
Yeah.
We were wondering if we were actually going to do it, and then we thought, well, we'll play that interview with Jamie, and we talked not only through our regular time, we were like overtime here,
and we came up with the argument of this part of the 21st century that is legitimate versus the one that's old school and out of date.
We're gonna have to run it through the Brohammer and see if he can poke some holes through it or something.
He won't.
He likes to do that kind of stuff.
He's going to support us 1,000%.
Oh, all right.
He's a CCE though.
Oh, that's right. He's poking somebody else's argument right now.
Esteban and him.
Oh my God.
Well, Esteban's gone from there now. He went to a wedding, but
okay. So he was there. All right.
Yes, he was.
All right. Well, we will look forward to hearing more about that CCE.
Yes.
I'm sure there's going to be lots of stuff coming out of that.
Yeah, we'll get someone on the show who was there to talk about it.
Sure. All right. Well, in the meantime, it's Halloween. If you're dressing or going out or doing any of that stuff, have fun.
Enjoy.
In the meantime, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
There's Minnie. And that means we're out until next week. Have a good one.
Bye.